Hey, it's Chad Smith here from Juggernaut Training Systems and JTSstrength.com. I talked to you guys today about how we use different medicine ball throw variations to build explosive power in our athletes. Med ball throws are a great tool to build total body explosive power and coordination in athletes of any sport, and there's also applications for them for powerlifters, Olympic lifters, and strongmen. I think medicine ball throws have all the benefits of Olympic lifting, but with 4 distinct advantages. One, and I think the most important one, is that there's no inhibition of the triple extension through the finish. In an Olympic lift, you know that you're going to hold onto the bar at the end, which will force you to decelerate at some point in the lift, where with a medicine ball throw, because the ball is going to fly out of your hands, you're able to accelerate throughout the entire motion. That same advantage would hold true for medicine ball throws over dynamic effort lifting, even if you're using bands or chains. Another advantage over the Olympic lifts that I think medicine ball throws have, that they can be done in a multi-directional fashion. So it's not just triple extension vertically. You can also go with a horizontal triple extension. You can do rotational work. They happen at a much higher velocity than any lifting movement, and it's going to be much closer to approximating the velocity that occurs on the athletic field. And they're very simple to learn. Most people are going to be able to master any med ball throw variation in maybe 5 to 10 minutes of practice, while Olympic lifting variations can take multiple years in some cases to learn. So I'm going to show you some examples of different throws that we use. My example shower, Blake Rodgers. Blake's linebacker, high school linebacker. He's headed to the University of Washington next year. Always comes in here, works hard, does a great job. So he's going to show us a couple of these different throws. First throw is going to be overhead backwards. All right, overhead backwards is really our foundational throw. When you're doing this, you're looking for triple extension. All right, triple extension through the ankle, knee, hip. So jumping as high as you can with the throw. Long, relaxed arms. Go ahead and do one. All right. So this one you're going to go kind of slow. I'm just going to stop you at the top position. Alright, so Blake's going to start with the ball above his head. He's going to swing down to a good squat position. Alright, and as he extends up from there, you want to have the arms as long as possible, alright, and finish as tall as you possibly can. So you're going to jump up and back through the movement. Alright, go ahead and do one more. We normally do these outside for maximum distance, just doing them against the wall here for the ease of the video. Overhead backwards throw is a real staple in track and field training and testing, where you have the fastest, most explosive athletes in the world. And elite shot put and discus throwers can go over 70 feet in this exercise with a 16-pound shot put. You guys want to gauge your distance you want to gauge what weight you're using here by the distance you can throw. I wouldn't use anything when you're looking to develop explosive power that you can't throw at least 12 yards. Next throw that we're going to do is a scoop throw or underhand forwards throw. All right, go ahead and join that one. So scoop throw will show you some of the multi-directional abilities of the medicine ball throws, where in the overhead backwards throw, Blake was exploding up. And this one, it's a linear explosion. He's trying to jump as far forward as he possibly can. Alright, go ahead and do another one. Yeah, so in this one, as Blake gets in his ready position, you can see this good athletic position. This throw is going to have a lot. This throw is going to have a lot of carryover to offensive and defensive linemen, tight ends, wrestlers, MMA fighters, anyone who's got to shoot from that low position and drive out as explosively as they can. And what you're really looking for here is, again, with all the throws, the full extension from the hip. So as he gets into his ready position, good squat, chest is up high, and he's driving out. We'll do this in one of 2 ways. Some of the athletes prefer to jump out and land on both feet, while other athletes will jump off and kind of run out of the drill. One's not necessarily better than the other. Whichever ones your athletes perform the most effectively and throw the farthest with, that's the one they're going to want to do. Next, our general throws that we use a lot is the diving throw. Diving throw, again, will have a very high transfer for an offensive and defensive lineman. As with all the throws, looking for full extension at the hip. All right, Blake is doing a real good job up here. Still want to let the weight of the ball, or the distance that you're throwing, determine the weight of the ball that you use. If you have it available to you, doing this throw onto a high jump landing pit or a pole vault pit or any kind of crash mat really enhances the throw's effectiveness, because you'll be able to get greater extension at the hip. Because as he's doing this on land, a lot of athletes will be scared to really get full extension because they think they're going to fall on their face. But if you can do that and just dive out onto the long jump pit while you're doing it, it'll eliminate that fear. Go ahead and do one more dive and throw. Next throw we're going to do is overhead forwards. Overhead forwards throw, great for developing specific strength in any overhead throwing athlete, whether it's a quarterback, a pitcher, volleyball player, water polo, javelin thrower, whatever it may be. Keys to think about here in the overhead forwards throw, as Blake demonstrates this first one. Alright, keeping long and relaxed arms. Alright, that's going to go carry through to all the throws, really, with the exception of the diving throw. So long and relaxed arms, and letting your hips and feet work ahead of your hands. So you want to get your feet down quick, so your hips are back, and you can pull the ball through. All right? All right, do a little more overhead forwards. Most athletes are going to have to use a lighter ball on this one than they are an overhead back or anything, because it can be stressful to the shoulder. Next throw that we're going to show you is rotational throw. Rotational throw is going to develop that powerful, explosive hip rotation. It's going to have real high carryover to a baseball swing, any throwing motion, a swinging motion that a lacrosse player would use or a hockey player would use. So go ahead and do a rotational throw. Good. So we're really looking for the athlete to crank the hips all the way through so they finish facing the target. Again, long, relaxed arms, and we're just going from this high to low in the windup, and then low to high in the throwing action. Here, one more rotational. Good. So really cue your athletes to throw that, to make that throw happen with their hips, all right, not their arms. A lot of people will tend to get here and want to arm it, and that's going to put a lot of stress on the bicep. And an easy way to tell if they're doing that is if the throw is going behind them. So as I'm facing here and throwing, if it was to go way out to my left, then they're probably finishing it with their arms. Next throw that we're going to show you is a shot. It's just a standing throw on the shot put, essentially. That's going to develop specific strength for a punch in an MMA fighter or a boxer, and then general abilities in any other team sport athlete. Shot. The athlete's going to be keeping two hands on the ball. They get a little crow hop, and then rotate at the hip and punch it out. And one more shot. And obviously with both the rotational throw and the shot, you need to be executing that from both sides. Next throw that we're going to show you, great developer of explosive upper body strength. We use it as a drill with all of our football players, and it also would have a big application for powerlifters in developing their speed off the chest and the bench press. A lot higher velocity movement than a dynamic effort bench. So if you have someone who really needs to improve their bar speed, this would be a good drill for that. It's called a med ball power drop. We have the athlete lay on the ground, partners stand right at their shoulders, drop the ball from chest height, and as soon as the athlete on the ground catches it, bring it to their chest and explosively throwing it as high as possible. So the good barometer here is how high they're throwing the ball. Make sure that the person dropping it is consistent with their drops. Always drop it from chest height or face height or wherever that may be, and that the athlete on the ground is throwing it as high as possible, trying to get it over their partner's head each time. So as you're looking at programming medicine ball throws, what you need to do is reduce the volume of total throws from week to week to week, because you can't really manipulate the intensity of the throws because they have to be done at 100% intensity every time. You have to be trying to throw as far as possible every time for these to be effective. So because the intensity is set, you must manipulate the volume. So as your athletes keep throwing farther and farther each week, you need to do less and less throws, otherwise it's going to become too stressful to the body. A real simple way to start in a 3-week wave of med ball throws is to do 10 reps of each throw in the first week, 8 reps of each throw in the second week, 6 reps of each throw in the third week. Right now we're executing our med ball throws with our high school football players like Blake twice a week. Each of those days we'll do the overhead backwards throw, and then one day we'll do overhead backwards, scoop and rotational, and the other day we'll do overhead backwards, diving and shot. So real simple way to break it up, not too tricky with what you're doing there. So like I said before, med ball throws, great drill to develop total body explosive strength. Medicine balls are going to increase your jumping ability. They're going to increase the speed and strength of a punch, whether it's a one-handed punch like an MMA or a two-handed punch like an offensive and defensive lineman's using. Any kind of twisting power that you need to improve for a baseball swing or a slap shot in hockey or throw in lacrosse, it's going to do a great job of that. It can be used as a special strength exercise for offensive and defensive linemen to increase the speed of their get-off. And we also have other throwing variations that we'll use as special strength exercises for a baseball player in both the pitch and the swing. And other specialty exercise we'll use with volleyball players, water polo players to really address the special strength sporting movements that they need addressed. So medicine ball throws, very simple drill, a lot of stuff you can do with it. You get these pretty cheap, elitefts.com. So thanks, keep checking jtsstrength.com for more articles like this. Thank you.